welcome to Vale Park for the first league appearance of Port Vale here at their home ground this season. And the visitors today, somebody that they've never played in their 120-year history, and that's Barnet. Barnet, of course, escaped complete fold-up in the close season through financial pressures, but they're able to field the side today and to take to the pitch. And here to talk about Barnet is my co-commentator, Phil Lawton. Phil, Barnet, interesting prospect today.
Yes, looking forward to this one today, but Barnet, of course, had tremendous trouble in the close season, financial pressures and irregularities, and goodness knows what else happened at the club. They lost the manager, they lost the whole of the team virtually, but they've rebuilt, and it's going to be very interesting this afternoon. Glenn Hoddle's brother is in the squad this afternoon. He's Carl Hoddle, so we'll see if he's going to emulate his brother. And also Brian Marwood is with Barnet this afternoon, ex-Sheffield Wednesday and Arsenal fame, so should be a good game.
Port Vale will be hoping to better the start that they had in this season. They only managed the defeat really last week against Burnley, and only really managed to draw in the Coca-Cola Cup against Lincoln. And you still can't help to get away from those local comparisons with neighbours Stoke City, because they've had exactly the same start as Port Vale. We're looking for a good team performance though by Port Vale. Really need to get their defensive wall well and truly set up today, and we'll see if that can happen. Phil, who are you looking for on the Vale side to really stick in and come up with a good defensive performance? Good defensive performance. Well, we've got Peter Billing at the back. He's a very complete defender, and I like Alan Tankard, the new signing. I think he's playing exceptionally well down the flanks and at the back, and he's a good wing player as well. And in midfield, Robin van der Laan, they'll be looking to him this afternoon, but I fancy Vale this afternoon to not only win it but quite comfortably, trust me. Well, we've done that before, and he's never proved to be too far out of the equation as Phil Lawton. We'll give you the full team news from the commentary position. So let's give you the two teams, and we'll start with the home side, Port Vale. And in goal, Paul Musselwhite. At 2, Kevin Kent. 3, Alan Tankard. 4 is Neil Aspin. 5 is Peter Billing. 6 is Dean Glover. At 7, it's Bernie Slave. And 8, Robin van der Laan. 9, Martin Foyle. 10 is Paul Kerr. 11, Ian Taylor. And the 3 substitutes for Port Vale is Nicky Cross, John Jeffers, and the goalkeeper Trevor Wood.
Barnet Football Club then. In goal, number 1 is Gary Phillips, number 2 Mark Newson, number 3 Jeff Cooper, number 4 Gary Smith, number 5 Alan Walker, number 6 David Barnett, number 7 Brian Marwood, number 8 Sean Close, number 9 is Callie Haig, number 10 Carl Hoddle, 11 Tony Lynch, 2 substitutes, number 12 Mark Carter, 14 Nicky Evans, and the goalkeeper is Andy Pope.
Obviously, Andy Porter, the influential midfielder for Port Vale, is still out injured. He received something like 5 stitches and a foot injury that he sustained in the opening match of the season at Burnley. Port Vale, of course, are going to be looking for a win today to silence reports that they are a little bit indifferent. I think the defence needs to take some responsibility for that, Phil.
Yes, in the Coca-Cola Cup match on Wednesday night, Vale really did commit suicide, didn't they? They were 2-0 up, they were coasting really to a comfortable lead to take to Lincoln City in the second leg, but then things fell apart and back came Lincoln, and before they knew it they were 2 goals each, and it's going to make the League Cup tie a lot more difficult than it needed to have been. But this afternoon they're going to have to tighten up, as you say, at the back. They're going to have to be professional, and this is really where the season starts this afternoon. They'll want to forget last week's match at Burnley, forget the Coca-Cola Cup, and say, right, we're starting, we're kicking off, this is where our season starts. And that, I think, will have been John Rudge's team talk before kick-off.
Analysis and all the summary coming from Phil Lawton this afternoon, taking you straight through the match. I think there's something that we need to do before we go any further, and we'll call on our cameraman Tim Hurst, who has got the camera on the mascot this afternoon, because he's Jonathan Oakes. He's 12 years old and he attends Walton Primary Middle School in Stone. His hobbies include football, volleyball, cricket and tennis. He's captain for Walton Priory Middle School soccer team. His favourite Port Vale players are Bernie Slaven, Paul Kerr and Dean Glover, though he'd choose the whole team if he could. Nothing stopping him doing that, is there, this afternoon?
Certainly nothing at all. They're going to miss Andy Porter this afternoon, as they did on Tuesday night. He's a player that any team can't afford to miss, and what with Ray Walker out as well, it's the injury problems for Port Vale with the season so young. But looking for Robin van der Laan this afternoon to really make things work for them.
I think the other thing, Phil, is that what we do need this afternoon, without a shadow of a doubt, is a good performance from the number 9 for Port Vale, and that's Martin Foyle, because he desperately needs the goal to get his confidence going. He's not looked as sharp and as lively as he has done previously for Port Vale, has he?
He looked a little bit tired, didn't he, on Tuesday night, especially towards the end of the match. But this afternoon he's raring to go. He's in the centre circle now. He's going up to the ball. He's getting ready to kick off. So this is it. This is where the season starts for Port Vale. And this is where the first victory is going to come from this afternoon. Good gate today, Phil, I can tell. There's something like 500 that have made the trip from the north of London and Barnet, and the home crowd swelling the Bycars end away to our right, and also the railway stand opposite. And you always get a good crowd in the Launch Street end as well, so it's a good packed house. I wouldn't say totally packed, but it's relatively full for this opening home game of the season. We're underway. Dean Glover hits the ball long. Eddie clear by the Barnet defence, and this is going to be Tony Lynch. And don't forget, this Barnet side are desperately put together in the last few weeks of last season, or the summer recess, I should say, because really they were facing financial oblivion up until that moment. Paul Kerr, Ian Taylor up there. Ball hit forward, looking for the number 9, Carl Haag. Cleared by Peter Billing for Port Vale. And that's the first throw-in of the match. Goes the way of Barnet. The right back for Barnet, Mark Newson, going to take this one. Mark Newson, I remember from Plymouth. Tankard letting the ball go out of play there, so that'll be another throw-in. And we renew the acquaintance with Mr. Singh, one of the linesmen, and Bradley Sanderman won't forget him in a hurry, because he's the linesman that sent Bradley Sanderman off. Newson getting the ball forward. Robin van der Laan in there, and Robin van der Laan wins the free kick there. Brian Marwood busy organising the Barnet ranks as Musselwhite puts the ball long. Alan Walker wins that one, eventually cleared by the Barnet defence, only as far as Peter Billing, and Peter Billing gets a great header forward. Nice control by Martin Foyle, and really Robin van der Laan caught in possession. He gets a second bite at it and feeds the ball out beautifully there to Kevin Kent. Kent flicks the ball forward now. Kent in again. Bernie Slaven wasn't caught offside. The referee, the linesman didn't give it, and eventually Port Vale get a throw in. And it's a good atmosphere down here this afternoon, and that's offside. Kevin Kent had just strayed a little bit too far forward to receive the pass from Bernie Slaven. So Gary Phillips, the player manager of Barnet Football Club, gets his first touch of the ball just to put the ball to Jeff Cooper to take this free kick. Cooper forward, flicked on there. Robin van der Laan under this one for Vale. And Vale get another free kick. Neil Aspin looking for the options. Looks for Bernie Slaven. Slaven's onside. If he can control this one, he shoots. And Phil, Bernie Slaven looking lively in these opening stages of this game. Yeah, that was a great chance for Port Vale. I noticed the number 2 for Barnet Football Club, Mark Newson's playing a little bit too deep, and he's playing Port Vale onside quite a lot this afternoon. Number 2 is on the near side. Watch him a bit close. He's very slow coming out. He could be the player that creates openings for Port Vale.
Bernie Slaven manages to keep possession there. Does well. Kevin Kent with a crossover. Martin Foyle was nearly in there, and it was well cleared by the Barnet defence. And this is a free kick. Seems to be quite a few tussles going on in midfield in this match so far. Eventually Brian Marwood gets the game started again, and eventually comes out to Mark Newson on this right hand side. Good run forward there, well cut out by Dean Glover. Carl Hoddle had made a good run there. Peter Billing in possession now for Vale, finds Neil Aspin. Aspin going forward, keeping possession, very strong on the ball, tries to feed Martin Foyle through. And eventually the ball's cut out and Barnet can break again. This is Marwood. And really that was a disastrous ball from a Barnet point of view by Sean Close. Phil Barnet not looking too clever on the ball at the moment. Elswell just cut in on you there, Bernie Slavin. First time effort. Really didn't control the ball, but it was, you can see what he was trying to do, and I liked what he was trying to do there.
Yeah, he certainly did well there, didn't he, Bernie Slavin? Got the shot on goal. Unfortunately for him, it was a little bit too high and a little bit too wide. But Barnet, as you say, they don't seem to be gelling together as a team at the moment. And I wonder what Gary Phillips, the Barnet goalkeeper, who you say is the manager this afternoon, wonder if he's going to be starting to give some orders out.
I would imagine it's a very difficult position to be in if you're a player manager as a goalkeeper. There's only one other, and that's Peter Shelton, of course. Newson. Port Vale defending quite stoutly at the moment, and that was Peter Billing getting the challenge in there. Marwood with the throw, finds Newson. Newson finds Hoddle. Newson in again, this time it's Jeff Cooper. Hoddle again, nice touch to Cooper. Lets it run though for Hogg. And out to the far side to Tony Lynch. And Lynch doing well there. And the free kick has been given against Port Vale. And it was Kevin Kent on the far side that has brought Tony Lynch down, sorry. That's a dangerous position to concede a free kick, Phil.
Yeah, this is a chance for Barnet. The number 7, Brian Marwood of Arsenal and Sheffield Wednesday fame, has gone across to take it. Vale have got to be very tight at the back, and Nicky Cross has gone back.
Lynch nearly got up there. Hoddle nods forward.
Offside.
And there was an offside on the far side. But it was a good nod down by Carl Hoddle. Not as well known, obviously, as his brother Glenn, who's now the Chelsea manager, but nevertheless has seemed to have a little bit of the Hoddle skill.
Yes, a player that will obviously want to emulate his brother, and if he does that, he'll end up playing for England, won't he, one day? But his brother, an absolute world-class player, and a player that I think should be the manager of England, is Glenn Hoddle.
I totally endorse those comments by you there, Phil. Neil Aspin for Port Vale. Paul Kerr didn't judge the pass to his best there, and that enables the move to be broken down by Barney. So there's an offside there. It was Bernie Slavin. Bernie Slavin does tend to get caught offside quite a bit, Phil. He's slow at getting back sometimes, isn't he?
Yeah, that's the second time this afternoon Port Vale have been caught offside, as opposed to Barnet's one, and Bernie Slavin a little bit slow coming back. I noticed the number 2 started to push forward, Mark Newson. So he's probably been spoken to by his goalkeeper, Gary Phillips, who's the manager, as you said.
Musselwhite on walkabout. Long ball forward. Taylor's up there, didn't quite get to it. Dean Glover's down there very, very bravely, because Hogg's foot was high there. Nevertheless, Port Vale keep possession. This is Musselwhite. Has Alan Tankard free. Nice chest down there, good control. And Martin Foyle not managing to keep that one in play, and Newson can take the throw for Barnet. Both goalkeepers using the length of this field to come out as far as they can before releasing the clearance. And it's Newson, the captain, who puts the ball forward. Hoddle was using the elbow there on Peter Billing, so it's going to be a free kick for Port Vale. Goalkeeper Paul Musselwhite to take. Musselwhite firmly installed as the club's number 1 goalkeeper at the moment. Martin Foyle was complaining that he was being climbed all over there by the number 5, Alan Walker, but the referee was having none of that. Neil Aspin, though, moves forward, good ball infield. Martin Foyle, if he can get there. It was a back pass, and the goalkeeper did well to recognise that. His first instinct there, Phil, I think, was to pick it up. Yeah, that was bad defending, I think, by Barnet there. The number 5, Alan Walker. So it was number 6, David Barnet, that tried to get the
the block in, and it went just past him and back to the goalkeeper. And I think they're a bit fortunate to get away with that, Barnet.
Slaven, good work. This is Kevin Kent. Martin Foyle straight offside, and that was good play there by the number 2 for Barnet, Mark Newson. As you said, Phil, I think he's tightened up a little bit. He's now moving forward and catching the Vale forward line just a little bit offside. This is a good break forward. This is Hogg streaming forward on goal, and let's see how referee Coddington judges that on Peter Billing.
Well, I don't know. I thought that the lad for Barnet was through on goal there, and if the referee is going to take action, then surely Peter Billing is in a tremendous amount of trouble.
This would be disastrous for Port Vale if he was to leave this. He's gone into the pocket. What colour's the card going to be?
Well, I fear the worst here, Tony.
Taking the name, Peter Billing. Obviously, must be frantic moments for him as the referee reaches into the pocket now. Let's see what colour it's going to come out as. It's red. Peter Billing's off.
Well, you have to look at the situation and say that the boy was through on goal, and Peter Billing came from behind, and he did bring him down. And it's the rules, isn't it, today? The referee has really got no option.
Manager John Rudd said to me in a pre-season interview that we were talking about the Peter Swan incident at Wembley in the playoff final against West Brom, that the player still has to go through and beat your goalkeeper. And Peter Billing there would really have done well to let the player to try his luck, but the free kick comes in now, charged straight down at Ian Taylor. This is Hoddle. Sean Close trying to get the ball over. Picked up by Bernie Slaven, and Port Vale stream forward now. And Marwood cut the ball out there, and Marwood and Hoddle having a few words. It's 11 against 10 now. Ian Taylor, strong on the ball as Ian Taylor keeps possession. Finds Robbie Van der Laan with a great pass, does he? Just quickly out to that was Gary Phillips. And Barnet will feel a little bit more confident now that they've got a player more than Port Vale on the pitch. And let's see how Port Vale can adapt. I would imagine that they'll go to a four-man defence now.
And that was Gary Smith that put that tackle in there that was a little bit late, and I think he's going to go into the referee's notebook. He's going to have to be careful, the referee, that he doesn't lose control of this match. One thing that I don't know if you agree with me, but I don't understand why the referee, when he decides to send Peter Billings off, why does he have to take so long in doing it? Because I just think that entices people. I mean, he was standing there for a good 30 seconds talking to him. If he's going to send him off, get it over and done with. What is the point of standing there and talking to him and making him wait?
I agree with you there, Phil. It did seem to take an awful amount of time there. But Alan Tankard can try and build something for Port Vale now as the ball's put forward, and Martin Foyle has a bit of a chase on, but the goalkeeper is out very, very quickly for that one. And Barnet build again. This is Jeff Cooper.
That's why I think they've got it right in international football, you know. If a player's going to get booked or sent off, the referee just pulls the card out.
And takes the name afterwards.
Yeah.
At least the crowd and the players know of the decision.
Yeah. What was the point of standing and talking about it for 30 seconds?
Yeah, I agree with you there.
It's just a thought, you know,
yeah.
My thought.
No, I agree with you there, because it did seem to take an enormous amount of time, really. Now John Rudge will be furious, I'm sure, and we'll seek his reaction, obviously, after the match, because I distinctly remember him, Phil, saying that, you know, in the pre-season interview that he thought that Peter Swan would have been better to let the West Brom forward go forward and have a crack at goal, because he's got your goalkeeper to beat. And on that incident, I'm sure he'll take the same view.
It was very similar, wasn't it? If not identical.
Martin Foyle just a yard or so offside there. And this match is decidedly becoming a little bit in bad taste at the moment, Phil.
Yeah, certainly seems that way. The referee's going to have to be careful, as I say, he doesn't lose control of it. offside against the Port Vale player there, Martin Foyle coming forward. Free kick to Barnet, and well, this is Barnet's 4th free kick of the match. That's not counting offside free kicks.
And Barnet working the ball quite nicely. Shot comes in from the number 4, Gary Smith, well wide of the target. But we'll see how Port Vale reshape their troops now, being Peter Billing down at the moment. Well, throughout the rest of this game, Peter Billing's going to be absent. And did you get the timing on that sending off, Phil?
Yes, it was after 9 minutes. 9 minutes of the game, so Vale have got to go 81 minutes down to 10 men. But I don't think that Barnet have been much of a threat so far, and they certainly haven't seemed any more of a threat in front of goal since he got sent off. There's nothing to worry about, and I think Neil Aspin and Dean Glover are perfectly capable of holding their own out there.
Let's see if you're right then, as Jeff Cooper is in possession for Barnet now. Cooper looking for the options and finds Tony Lynch. In fact, Lynch let that dummy, and Lynch seems to be in a little bit of a problem over there, doesn't he? He seems to have sustained an injury.
I think he could have pulled a muscle over there. Certainly no sign of any foul. Well, the referee had obviously made his mind up. He was going to send him off immediately, so what was the hold-up?
Ian Taylor through now. Ian Taylor moving into the penalty area, looking to square the ball, and Bernie Slavin's furious there that the ball didn't come across to him. He'd got himself into a great goal-scoring position, and the ball never reached him. Bernie Slavin showing his disdain at that. Close. To Marwood now. Marwood found himself in oceans of space there, really, and that's where the space will be left by Peter Billing. Taylor. This is Van der Laan. To Tankard. Tankard in again and finding Slavin. Slavin's going infield, looking for the options. Martin Foyle have made a great run there now, is in possession, and Port Vale need players forward. Foyle winning the throw in there.
Made a bit of a mess of that, Martin Foyle, didn't he, by allowing the David Barnett to come in and close him down. Perhaps he was waiting for more support within the box, I don't know, but I thought he waited just a bit too long myself.
Tankard is waiting for somebody to become available. Slavin does so now, and Ian Taylor was offside. Nice warm afternoon here at Vale Park on this Saturday, and the tension on the pitch is at fever pitch at the moment. Port Vale down to 10 men, but Barnet not really capitalising on the one-man extra that they have. This is Lynch getting the boos from the Port Vale faithful. This is Hoddle, let that run a little bit too much and got the tackle in there by Ian Taylor. Bernie Slavin nice to cut out that pass there. Waiting for movement. Alan Tankard's made a good run. He gets the ball now. And Marwood robs Tankard there. And finds Smith. And that's gone out of play. Bad pass there by the right back, Mark Newson. Problem being, Phil, I suppose, when you look at the substitutes for Port Vale, there's no recognised defender there.
Well, I don't think there's a problem at the back. I think Port Vale are more than holding their own at the back. Dean Glover and Neil Aspin are doing an acceptable job. They're playing 4 players at the back, and Barnet haven't even had a shot on goal yet. No problems at the back. In fact, I still fancy Vale to win this quite comfortably. They're the better team.
Good pass there by Marwood. Looking to put the number 9 Hogg, but Neil Aspin equal to the challenge and does the clean-up operation for Port Vale. And that's a great flick forward, and Bernie Slaven is through on goal. You've got to fancy him from here. Slaven! And it was a great save by the goalkeeper, Gary Phillips. Phil, your thoughts on that one?
Well, Slaven was through, he had time. I think he did the right thing. He tried to beat the goalkeeper, and that goes down as not as a miss, but a great save by Gary Phillips. He's kept his team in it, as Gary Phillips, the manager, kept the team in it. But as I was saying, Vale definitely on top, and more chances like that will come this afternoon.
Foyle in there. This is Newson. Barnet back to the goalkeeper. Nice flick on by Dean Glover. And well appreciated by the Vale faithful. Vale have reshaped their defensive line, have now switched to a 4-3-2, which you'd expect when you've got a player down, Phil.
Yeah, but as I say, they're still on top, they're still in total control, and that last chance that we saw, which went through to the forward line of Port Vale, Bernie Slaven was through on goal. I still think that Vale get many more chances like that. They've got absolutely nothing to worry about, and just keep their heads and keep the concentration. They're far better than Barnet.
Martin Foyle putting a little bit of pressure onto the goalkeeper there. This is Paul Kerr slowing things down, letting Port Vale build in the footballing sense that they know so well. This is Gary Smith laying the ball off for Hoddle, and Hoddle finding Hogg with a Glenn Hoddle type pass there. This is Hoddle again to Newsom. Marwood. Aspin half clears. And that's an interesting shot there from the number 4, Gary Smith. Well over the top.
Believe it or not, that is Barnet's first shot on goal. And I don't know where we get the corner from, because I didn't see that myself.
No, it's surprised me, that one has. It surprised the whole of the first team staff, that one, but referee is the one that makes the decisions, and us, like the players, have to respond to that. Barnet's first corner.
They don't look in too much of a hurry to take it, do they, really?
Well, Brian Marwood, ex of Arsenal and Sheffield Wednesday, a very tricky player, as I seem to remember for those days at Arsenal. He was the start of many games for them. Let's see if he can put over a good corner for Barnet. It's a low one. It was driven in. It was Callie Hogg that got the touch on that one, but failed to do anything with it. With 22 minutes left of this first half. Tankard. That was a very late flagging there by the linesman, Mr. Singh, and Bernie Slaven takes up the protest for Port Vale. And that you can't blame the referee for that one, Phil, because he has to be ruled by the linesman's flag there, but he was very late.
I thought he was level, Bernie Slaven there.
I have to tell you people at home that we were perfectly level with where that incident took place, and it didn't look offside by any stretch of the imagination. This is Paul Kerr. Kerr finding Slaven. Robbie van der Laan joins the attack now. This is Kevin Kent. Good movement up by the front players of Port Vale. Martin Foyle and Ian Taylor heading the attack at the moment off your picture. This is Slaven. Slaven had drifted offside there for a second. He's come back into it now. Van der Laan. Finding Kerr. In for Taylor. Bad ball by Ian Taylor, and that gives Barnet the possession, and Taylor's anxious to get back. And this is Marwood for Barnet. Long ball forward, looking for Hogg. Hogg gets there. The arm was up there though, Phil, didn't you think?
Yeah, I thought the arm was in the back of Neil Aspin a little bit there, but Barnet, they haven't got the class that Port Vale have got on the ball. Caught offside there, 2 players. Martin Foyle and Bernie Slaven. And the free kick surely got to go back from there. It wasn't there where the linesman is. That's better. But Vale are a different class to Barnet. They're so much better organised, better footballers. Barnet seem to be floating the ball forward and looking for the big men up front. That is their tactic.
You're watching pictures from First Team Television, and it's our first league visit to Vale Park this season with a new league sponsor. This is the Endersley League Division 2. Used to be the Barclays League Division 2. Endersley Insurance now the new sponsors for the Football League. And you're watching these exclusive pictures from First Team Television. Paul Musselwhite gifted the possession there to Barnet. They stole a few yards there. Lynch was in there. Port Vale doing well in midfield though, but Hoddle comes back and mops up, and that's a lovely pass out. He does seem to have a few Glenn Hoddle properties there, doesn't he, Phil?
Yeah, and Kevin Kent is in a bit of trouble over on the far side of the field. He's just picked himself up, but from that last tackle, Kevin Kent's in trouble. The referees give a free kick to Port Vale. That was an infringement by the Barnet player there.
Actually, I thought Neil Aspin was quite fortunate there, because the ball seemed to just ricochet off Aspin and hit the Barnet player on the hand.
John Rudge's just stood up from the dugout, and he's going back into the stand. I think he's going back to his seat in the stand. I don't know if he's come down to make a point to the dugout, but the assistant manager now is standing up and trying to get his thoughts across to the players.
Bobby Downs up there shouting instructions to Alan Tankard, and Tankard acknowledging that he's received those as he comes up to take this throw in. Finding Ian Taylor. Ian Taylor did well to shake off Brian Marwood there. Ball back to Tankard, needs a good cross. Goalkeeper's lost it! And the referee had blown for a free kick on Gary Pilic there, Philip, but I couldn't see a lot wrong with that challenge.
Well, it was the situation where goalkeepers overprotected, in my opinion, by the referee. Both players went up for the ball. I always feel goalkeepers have got an advantage anyway in them situations, because they can handle the ball and the players can't, can they? But the referee's made his decision, and he says it's a free kick to Barnet, and that's what it is.
Phil Lawton there shooting straight from the hip, and that's why he's First Team Television's #1 summariser and match analyser. Barnet getting the ball forward through David Barnet. Aspin quickly in there for Port Vale though, and Port Vale get the free kick.
Certainly do. That is Port Vale's 6th free kick this afternoon, not counting the offsides. And just looking at the old statistics so far, Port Vale have had 2 shots on goal, and quite surprisingly so Barnet. Both of which went well wide though, and Port Vale have had 5 throw-ins, as against Barnet's 5 throw-ins as well. So the statistics look at quite even, but Vale certainly the better and more accomplished and better looking side, in my opinion. They're far more classy than Barnet. That was on ball.
Referee says no. Dean Glover trying to get the challenge in. Brian Marwood eventually clears for Barnet. It's 0-0 in this Endersley League Division 2 match between Port Vale, the home side, and the visitors Barnet Football Club. That's Hoddle. Getting the ball to Marwood. Robin van der Laan missed the challenge there. Martin Foyle back doing some defending. Newson still in possession for Barnet though. Robin van der Laan gets the challenge in, and an excellent challenge it was. On the Barnet skipper Mark Newson. They have to be very patient in their build-up to Barnet, don't they, Phil? Because they're not they don't have the flowing sort of football that Port Vale do.
No, they certainly don't. They're looking for the big man all the time up front, and they get the ball in the box as soon as they can. Hence this now, or towards the box if not in. I think that was a bit of misdirection actually. But they're going forward as quick as they can, and I think that's their tactic this afternoon. They can't take on Port Vale for skill, so they're trying to go forward. This extra man.
Hoddle, nice back pass there. Nice back heel. Straight into the feet of Sean Close, and Sean Close didn't do anything with that. He completely fluffed that one, Phil.
I was just going to say, this extra man that they've got now after the sending off of Peter Billing, it's not really made much difference. No difference at all, really.
So Barnet with the free kick. Cooper with it, long and high, looking for the target man, just like Phil Lawton said they would do, and it'll break for Port Vale, it'll break for Robin van der Laan, into Martin Foyle. This is Kent. Great ball forward, finding Foyle, needs some good control, it didn't come off for him, and David Barnet breaks with the ball. Marwood seems to have a free role for Barnet. He's all over the pitch at the moment. That was a dreadful pass, and Bernie Slaven will try and get back there. It was repossessed by Newsom. Flit on by Hogg, and a shot on goal by the number 8, Sean Close, trying desperately to make up for the fluff of just a few minutes ago. There's 14 minutes to go in this first half. Two Port Vale substitutes are now beginning to warm up. Tankard. Ball down the line for Ian Taylor. And Taylor misdirecting that one, and that allows Barnet to repossess the ball and move forward as they do through Callie Hogg. Cutting it, looking for the shot, he takes a deflection, and that's going to be a corner. Callie Hogg then, Phil, the number 9 for Barnet. Now that sounds like a coffee to me.
No advertising, please. Yeah, it's a corner to Barnet, and this is their second corner of the match, and they'll be hoping to make more of it than they did of their first corner that they had. But, I still think Port Vale are well on top. They can even afford to leave Bernie Slaven up in the centre circle as we speak to you, as a danger man.
Easily gathered there by Paul Musselwhite in the Port Vale goal, and quickly releasing Robin van der Laan. Van der Laan gesticulating that he wants some more support, and that's a great break there by Ian Taylor and Martin Foyle, and both are onside, and Martin Foyle needs to be careful here as the ball's crossed. It's too high for Foyle. It's going to come in for Kevin Kent. I thought he would have rifled his shot. He moves down to the byline, whips the crossover. Slaven, it's there for Port Vale, and that was a patient build-up. Kevin Kent pinpointed out Bernie Slaven, and Slaven's all around the pitch getting the congratulation of the Port Vale substitutes, Phil.
Well, what an absolutely marvellous move that was by Port Vale. At one point, Ian Taylor and Nicky Cross were through on goal. Taylor got the cross in, and it was temporarily cleared by Barnet, but the ball eventually came across to Slaven, and there we go. It's 1-0 to Port Vale, and I think Vale will go from strength to strength. Just one little thing after that goal was put in, I noticed Paul Kerr squared up to Barnet's number 5, Alan Walker, in the penalty area. That was after Vale had scored the goal, and a few other Barnet players had to come across and take Alan Walker away.
Well, that'll be a confrontation to watch out for there, Phil, because Paul Kerr's like a man with a mission this season, isn't he? He really has become a lot more, how can I say, physical in his game, and perhaps that's some of what the Port Vale supporters would like to see added to his game.
I think the Barnet player Alan Walker probably said something to Paul Kerr, which probably upset him a little bit, but
Bobby
he's got the last laugh because his team has got a goal ahead, and I can't see Port Vale losing this one. They're far too strong for Barnet.
Well, Bobby Downs, the assistant manager for Port Vale, has just been... oh, that was a good turn by Bernie Slaven, wasn't it? Referee says not though.
Referee says no, it wasn't. He says it was an infringement on the said Alan Walker again.
But I have to say, though, that Bobby Downs was appealing for Paul Kerr just to calm things down a little bit. And going back to the goal, Phil, it was clinical finishing by Bernie Slaven because he was really patient there, wasn't he?
Well, I don't know where the advantage was there. The referee played the advantage, and that was a nasty, nasty tackle by number 6, David Barnett. And
one of the Barnet players has already been booked, of course. It isn't this one, though.
He's going to get his name taken at least there, but I'm a bit surprised the referee didn't give Port Vale a free kick there.
What we're like on the bookings at the moment, Phil?
Bookings, well, both teams have had one booking. Port Vale, of course, Barnet have had 2 bookings, sorry, but Port Vale have had a player sent off. Oh dear.
Phil will endeavour to bring us up with the statistics as they happen, and also they'll be giving you some of the Barnet Football Club history and some of their players as we move through this match. And Barnet move the ball forward. Kerr's in there, great clearance by Paul Kerr. That's going to go for a throw-in. But he was quickly across to that one to seize the danger. So it's Port Vale 1, Barnet Football Club 0. The score of Bernie Slaven. Bernie on the chase again now. That ball hit long, looking for Brian Marwood, and the pass not up to standard there. At that time, Alan Tankard can take the throw in for Port Vale. Great pass there by Ian Taylor. The goalkeeper's coming out and having to commit himself, and really does the sensible thing there to find touch under the challenge of Bernie Slaven.
The Vale players finding so much space going forward at times it's untrue. They're outwitting this Barnet defence on numerous occasions, and you have to fancy them to get more goals in.
That's been great, getting the ball there to Kevin Kent. And Taylor releases Kent down the overlap. Martin Foyle, Bernie Slaven in the box. It's going to come across for Slaven. Slaven really didn't think the ball was going to reach him. It did so. This is Tankard. Nothing wrong with that challenge. And Marwood can break for Barnet. Hasn't got a lot of support though. And Newsom scoops the ball into touch. Well, it didn't go into touch actually. There's a bit of an infringement on Alan Tankard there from the number 8, Sean Close. Sean Close, now that's a name that I remember from last season. He played for Rotherham last season.
It's certainly a player that Barnet have picked up, but they've got little idea, Barnet, the Luca team that's been, and I don't wish to upset anybody from Barnet, but they do look a team that's been thrown together, don't they?
Well, really, up until the last few weeks of the close season, they hadn't done any serious training, and the team was only assembled in a matter of a couple of weeks, so you can see that this was something of a makeshift side, and they're still trying to gel together.
I do feel that Barnet are going to struggle this season, and I would put them down as a favourite for relegation. I'm ever so sorry, but I think that's what will happen to Barnet.
Barnet break again. This is set close, went down as if he'd been poleaxed. I personally don't think there was anything wrong with the challenge.
Well, Mr. Coddington, the referee this afternoon, disagrees and says, Mr. Glover, I'm afraid I'm going to have to take your name now.
Knowing the Potteries people as I do, I think that a couple of the Port Vale supporters today will be thinking that Mr. Coddington is practising writing his novel out there.
Certainly seems to be. It's a good job it's Yalla from Port Vale's point of view. Don't want another one being sent off.
Tell us a little bit about the Barnet history while we've got
Well,
this
they
play
were
down.
formed in 1888 and disbanded in 1901 and reformed 5 years later as Barnet Alston FC, reverting to their present title in 1919. They were strictly non-league, playing first in the Olympian League and then the London Athenaeum League, which they won 7 times. And in 1946 they shot to prominence by winning the FA Amateur Cup 3-2 against Bishop Auckland. They lost in the final in 1959, by which time it was played at Wembley. And after moving to the Southern League, they reached the Twin Towers again in 72, losing to Stafford Rangers in the FA Trophy final. By the time the mid-80s arrived, they were members of the new GM Vauxhall Conference, the Premier Non-League, and when new owner, the former self-styled king of the ticky-touts, Stan Flashman, came along, he took over. He vowed that league football would soon come to Barnet. Tell you more about it in a few moments.
Brian Marwood on the ball for Barnet now. Dean Glover unable to deal with the cross. Muscle White lost it temporarily.
It's a free kick. I think that was handball by the Barnet player there.
Referee just having a quick word with him there, Phil, to that effect. Or something like, don't do it again, old son. Alan Tankard moving forward now. Wins the throw-in.
Certainly does. Throw into Vale then, Alan Tankard.
Tankard finding foil. Good movement on the far side by Robbie van der Laan, getting himself in a lot of space. Phil will be able to tell me more about this comment that I'm about to make. The fact that Barnet have got one of the smallest playing areas of the Football League. Port Vale, one of the biggest. And I think that's why they're coming up with a lot of space for Port Vale, Phil. Would you agree with that?
I certainly would.
Ian Taylor in oceans of space as the ball comes across for Slayman! And that's a second! And that was clinical finishing by the man himself, Bernie Slaven. Has to be said, though, made by Ian Taylor. Phil.
Again on the far side, Ian Taylor gets the cross in, and really you have to question the marking in the middle. I feel this afternoon that Bernie Slaven is going to be onto a good thing. There's more goals to come, mark my words. And at the back, Barnet looking very suspect.
That's why he's still one of the top-class strikers in the Football League, Bernie Slaven, because he's got this habit of being able to pick out goal-scoring opportunities and finding the space to put the ball in the back of the net. And Ian Taylor is doing some sterling work in midfield. He's having to adopt a deeper role because of the sending off of Peter Billing, but still managing to get forward at the right moment. And he supplied the cross for the clinical Bernie Slaven to get his second goal of the game. It's Port Vale 2, it's Barnet Football Club 0.
The first thing that Stan Flashman did when he came to Barnet in 1986 was he appointed Barry Fry, the manager, and in the first season of automatic promotion they finished second to Scarborough, and then a year later they finished second again to Lincoln. After that they had mid-table positions. They got to 1990, finished second again to Darlington. Look, not with Barnet, is it? Or at least it wasn't. And then they finally took the championship in 1991 to take their place in Division 4.
And the story continues for Barnet Football Club. Phil will bring you that as we progress through this match, and that was a nice turn by the number 9, Kelly Hogg. Ian Taylor with a great challenge in there, and Paul Kerr can break. Feeds Bernie Slaven, Slaven back to Kerr, waiting for a bit of movement. Tankard's free, Tankard gets the ball now. Ian Taylor joins the attack and beats the offside trap, and that was disastrous by Newsom. Taylor on the goalkeeper, Slaven's hat-trick, it's there! Bernie Slaven gets his hat-trick, it's a first-time hat-trick at Vale Park. He's saying the ball's mine. Phil.
They're just not marking him, are they? Every time Ian Taylor gets free and gets through on defence, they never get anywhere with regards to marking Bernie Slaven. There's a bit of a problem down here, Tim, with the linesman. The Barnet number 3, who is Jeff Cooper, must have said something to the linesman.
Marwood's across there, protesting the energy. It's waved away. I think it's going to be a booking for dissent. But let's not shift the blame on anybody else of the Barnet ranks apart from Mark Newson, because he stood still as the ball was played over. Ian Taylor free, and Newson just stood still, and that enabled Of course, Ian Taylor to go forward and supply the cross for Bernie Slaven's third goal of the match.
But every time Taylor goes on an overlap, he just abandons Bernie Slaven in the middle. And he has so much room to get these balls in the back of the net. There's going to be more goals yet.
Barnet have 11 men, Port Vale have 10 men. The most important thing is that Port Vale have 3 goals, Barnet have none. And we've just got 1 minute left of this first half, and what an exciting first half it's been. These exclusive pictures brought to you by First Team Television. Kerr again in there very, very strongly. Well, PVFC, the Valiants as they are known, have made a glittering start to their home campaign in the Endersley League Division 2 division this season. They have been tipped and are favourites to take the title, and on this sort of performance with 10 men, you can't argue against that, although, as Phil Lawton has often said in the past, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Certainly is, and I think Port Vale's season has started here this afternoon, and they'll go from strength to strength.
I think there's going to be a bit of time added on though, Phil, do you not think, because of the sending off and also the numerous bookings that referee Mr. Coddington has made.
Yeah, we had an injury down on the near side, didn't we, when Dean Glover was booked, which lasted quite a while. So yes, I think there will be at least a minute of injury time.
Slaven nearly put in by Martin Foyle there. Robin van der Laan. Van der Laan just failing to keep possession. This is Marwood. Checking himself. This is Newson. Hogg in there. So is Tankard. And Kevin Kent. Cool as you like on the far side. Nods the ball back to goalkeeper Paul Musselwhite. And he's that midfield general, Paul Kerr. Tankard feeding Foyle. Ball in space again. Where is Newsom? Tankard first time cross. And they nearly let Robin van der Laan get the challenge in there. They're very slow at clearing the ball, but that's the end of the first half. And for his thoughts and all the statistics, let's have a word with Bill.
Well, we go into 2 minutes of injury time in the first half, and what a first half it was for Port Vale. Disaster hit them after 9 minutes because Bernie Slaven got himself sent off for the professional foul when the Barnet player was through on goal. So Peter Billing, not Bernie Slaven, got sent off for the professional foul on the Barnet player who was through on goal. But the best was to come because Bernie Slaven was the man that was to get the hat-trick in the first half. Ian Taylor involved in all 3 goals. All 3 goals came from the wings. The cross came in. First one was a header. The next 2 were shots on goal. 3-0 to Port Vale. It's half-time. And what a first half we've had.
So as we wait in anticipation really for the second half, because Port Vale have really put a great performance in on the first half. They are 3 goals up in the break and have only 10 men on the pitch, and that is great football by anybody's standards. Barnet have lost their way. We'll see if their manager's done any sort of a rallying job on the troops after the half-time break. Phil, your first thoughts then as we move into the second half? Do you think Port Vale are going to sit back on this lead, or knowing that they've got the 10 men, or do you think they're going to go forward looking for more?
Well, I would have thought that they'll go forward looking for more. There's absolutely no doubt about that in my mind. This match could end up 5 or 6-0 to Port Vale this afternoon, and there's absolutely no reason why it shouldn't.
So Phil's set to give you all the facts, and the history of Barnet Football Club will continue. A look at a few of their star players coming up in the next 45 minutes. First Team Television bringing you exclusive pictures of this Endersley League Division 2 match between Port Vale and Barnet. This is Slaven. Kerr to Slaven again. And Kerr turning nicely there, finding Kent. Ian Taylor's beat the offside trap once again. Waiting for support in the box. Bernie Slaven, Martin Foyle and Robin van der Laan there at the moment, and Taylor's keeping possession, and that was nice work though there by the Barnet defence.
And eventually Port Vale win a throw-in off Carl Hoddle. Kent with the cross, finds Slaven. Slaven looking for his fourth. It's there! Oh! That must have shaved the post. It was turning goalward bound, and it was an absolutely marvellous opportunity for Bernie Slaven to get his fourth, Phil.
What an afternoon he's having, isn't he, Bernie Slaven? And that was literally inches wide of that post. The goalkeeper had no chance, Gary Phillips. He wouldn't have got it if it had been inches that further on target, and what a shame for Bernie Slaven that he didn't get his fourth goal there. But he's going to get loads more chances this afternoon, mark my words.
Well, Phil said there was going to be plenty of goals in this Endersley League Division 2 match, and you can't really see him being wronged in the second half. That was close. Marwood finding Cooper. Poor cross by Cooper, but it evades Paul Kerr. Hoddle with the lob forward. And Kevin Kent conceding the corner there. Marwood to take the corner on the far side. And Paul Musselwhite out quickly to gather that. And quickly again releases the ball forward for Bernie Slaven, and Port Vale moving forward in numbers. Robin van der Laan with a great run. Letting the ball run for Paul Kerr. And now Port Vale need players forward. Martin Foyle has gone on the overlap and gets the ball now. As Kevin Kent leaves the ball for Kent. And that's an offside on the far side. I think Robin van der Laan just moved a shade too early there, Phil.
Yeah, it certainly did, but Port Vale, when they come forward, they're outwitting the Barnet defence time after time after time, and you know, if you just turned up to the ground and you hadn't got time to add up the players on each side, and you said which team is down to 10 men, you'd say Barnet.
Slaven lobbing the ball forward for Martin Foyle. Paul Kerr puts his shot in, he hit the bar! That was a first-time effort by Paul Kerr. And Port Vale could have scored twice in these opening 5 minutes of the second half, Phil.
What a match this is, isn't it, eh? There's just Barnet have just thrown the towel in. This could be a rout.
Paul Kerr gets the ricochet back off Newson. Kent on the overlap. And that's going to be a corner. If it goes, it's gone.
The space the Port Vale forward line are getting is absolutely criminal.
Short corner this time, Kerr getting the cross in. Poor cross, it's gone behind. Goal kick, Barnet. And it's a marvellous sight here at Vale Park. Port Vale really producing the football that they produced for 99% of last season, only not to be promoted with 89 points. This is close. Finding Marwood. Cooper coming into the equation now. Marwood again. Great ball out to the far side there. Marwood again. Moving forward. Finding Hogg. Hogg still in possession. He's robbed this time though. And Ian Taylor can start to build again for Port Vale. Great ball forward for Paul Kerr. Foyle down for van der Laan. This is Cooper. Marwood out to Hogg. Phil, there's a change to tell us about. Have you spotted it? The number 12 for Barnet is on Mark Carter. I think the number 2, Mark Newson, is off.
Well, obviously the goalkeeper, Gary Phillips, who's also the manager, decided that it was time for a change in the second half. I don't think it's made much difference. Barnet have to be one of the most poor defence teams I've seen for quite some considerable time. They're walking about at the back, they're not picking men up, and Vale players are just running off their markers and finding tremendous amount of space.
Well, actually, it isn't Mark Newson that's gone off. I believe it's the number 4, Gary Smith. And they're moving forward now with Brian Marwood. Cluster of players in the box waiting for a good cross. It came to Lynch. Neil Aspin's great
Look at the
tackle.
space.
And now moves into an enormous amount of space and releases Martin Foyle. Can Martin get his first goal of the season? It was a great stop. Martin Foyle with a second chip. It's there, Martin Foyle! He got the second opportunity. The goalkeeper did enormously well, Gary Phillips, but it came out to Martin Foyle once again, and he put an excellent chip on goal, and it's 4-0, Phil.
Well, the space of the Vale player coming through on goal was absolutely incredible. The Barnet players just partied and let him go through, and you have to say that this is just what Port Vale needed to meet Barnet this afternoon. Whoever planned the fixtures at the start of the season in the Football League, well, they have to be thanked, because this will boost Port Vale's confidence no end.
Phil, I think I have to agree with you that I think that Barnet are probably the worst defensive side I've seen come to Vale Park since we've started here. They really do need some organisation there, and I think it really, no disrespect to the football club, because they have had their problems, and this side has really been put together at the last minute, though, as Ian Taylor comes forward for Port Vale. Gets 2 players on him immediately, and eventually it's David Barnet that breaks with the ball. Kevin Kent seeing the dummy that Hogg was trying to make there. This is Slaven. Oh, that's a beautiful ball out to Ian Taylor, and Ian Taylor just nods it back to Kevin Kent. This is now an exhibition of football. It's 10 men against 11, but this really is a footballing exhibition now. And Port Vale faithful start to clap every pass as Port Vale continue to run Barnet ragged this afternoon. And Kent just chips the ball forward. Foyle with the flick on. Vanderlaan's trying to get in there. And eventually Gary Phillips and the Barnet goal comes out to collect.
Wasn't an easy goal either for Martin Foyle to take, because his first shot was saved by Gary Phillips, and then his second one had to be inch perfect, and his shot on the turn, which he chipped over goalkeeper and defender, was superb.
Well, I've been looking to see who the player that's gone off on Barnet is, and I know this is the 3rd time. I think it's Alan Walker that's gone, actually, Phil, for Barnet.
Well, it's as I say, it doesn't make much difference to the ability of both teams. Barnet, they really are going to have to sort themselves out for this long, hard season ahead. They look terrible at the back this afternoon. And the referee, who helped them to start with by reducing Vale to 10 men, well, Barnet couldn't take advantage of it, and they really are outclassed this afternoon, and their heads are going to begin to drop very soon.
Cross coming in. Musselwhite reads that one perfectly. You're watching these pictures exclusively from First Team Television, the #1 television company covering Port Vale. Endersley League Division 2, it's now Port Vale 4, Barnet 0. Bernie Slaven's got the hat-trick. Martin Foyle could go through, and he's been pulled back for an offside, and that was a bit dubious, Phil.
Close decision, very close decision, but at the end of the day, the referee and linesman make their decision. Offside is given. But Port Vale have got to try and amass up as many goals as they can this afternoon, because goal difference is important.
This is Lynch. Taylor with the tackle in again. Kevin Kent streaming forward. Has Bernie Slaven available? Has Ian Taylor moving on the inside? He goes with Bernie Slaven. Taylor's joining the attack. Martin Foyle's up there as well. And Slaven cutting through 3 players there and finding Robin van der Laan, does he? It's just cleared or half cleared. Robin van der Laan though has possession. And Slaven caught offside. We've had Paul Kerr hitting the bar, we've had Bernie Slaven shaving the post, and we've had an excellent goal by Martin Foyle. And there's only 13 minutes gone of this second half. And it's Bernie Slaven in possession now. Martin Foyle making an interesting break in the centre of the park. Slaven's coming forward and looking for his 4th goal.
The idea was a good one. Went through 1 or 2 Barnet tackles there and then tried to chip the goalkeeper. But unfortunately for Bernie, it didn't quite come off.
Marwood starts to build the attack. He has fed the ball out to the far side. The substitute, Mark Carter, trying to get in on the action. Robin van der Laan steals possession. This is close. Lynch trying to get possession on the far side.
On the corner.
He certainly has. Neil has been conceding the corner on the far side. And there are a few Barnet players puffing and panting out there, Phil.
Yeah, 4-0 up Port Vale, which is absolutely marvellous this afternoon for Potteries football.
Lynch tried to get a back heel in there and Robin van der Laan clears for another corner. And there's just got a huge cheer up from the Port Vale faithful, and I think it's because I believe they've just heard that their rivals in the Potteries, Stoke City, have just got a goal down at Bolton. That's to be confirmed. Cross coming over from Marwood now, and Ian Taylor cleared the danger. And Port Vale win a free kick. Bobby Downs there on the Port Vale dugout, shouting the instructions forward. Tankard to Glover. Bernie Slaven again on the attack, this time on the left. And that was a good cross, and it just evaded Martin Foyle, who was coming in on this near post. And I believe that Barnet are going to make a substitution, Phil.
Yes, they're getting all their lots of movement going on down on the Barnet dugout, and it looks as though they're going to make their substitution, as you quite rightly say. They'll got to concentrate on trying to build up their scoreline now, because, as I say, it may not look important to score more goals in this match, but you've got to take your chances when they come, and a chance to drum up a cricket score, a rugby score this afternoon. They're not going to get a better chance. They've got to keep going and get more goals. They've always been greedy.
And Phil Lawton's read the game so well this afternoon. He promised us goals, and goals have been forthcoming. But Port Vale have plenty of time to add more to their tally as Robin van der Laan comes forward. Martin Foyle's made a great run in that. It was just cut out by the number 3, Jeff Cooper. Port Vale have a corner. Paul Kerr on the far side. Right-footed. And Gary Phillips out together that one, read that one well. Paul Kerr had to run onside there, coming back from taking the corner. That's a dreadful mistake there by Jeff Cooper. Bernie Slaven moves forward, just put an extra touch on that. That enables Newsom to come back. That was a back pass. Goalkeeper clears to Brian Marwood. And really, Phil, I think Brian Marwood and Carl Hoddle, their best players this afternoon.
Yeah, I quite like the goalkeeper myself. I don't think he's had much chance with any of the goals, to be honest with you. He's been very much left to his own devices at the back there as the Barnet goalkeeper, Gary Phillips, and I quite like him myself.
Well, Brian Marwood put a pass forward there, looking for the 1-2 with Sean Close, and it didn't come off. And I think Marwood beginning to get a bit dejected as Bernie Slaven comes forward, and the goalkeeper's out very quickly towards Bernie Slaven on that occasion.
I think he'll be having a chat to his players after this match, well, the goalkeeper, because he's the manager as well. I think he might set them down and, you know, have a word and say, let's talk about where this is going wrong.
Foyle to Slaven.
Offside.
And there's been an offside decision, and that linesman on the far side is not endearing himself to the Port Vale faithful this afternoon. He's given a couple of dubious decisions. Robin van der Laan tried to get the challenge in there. Referee says play on. They do so. This is Cooper. This is Carter. Kevin Kent in there. This will come for Cooper again. Keeps it in play.
Not having a very good game, isn't Jeff Cooper?
Well, really, you have to say that the left back, Jeff Cooper, and also the right back and captain, Mark Newson, have made a couple of mistakes at the back. Kevin Kent steering the ball back to Paul Musselwhite. Martin Foyle asking for a bit of tape. Down on this near touchline, just out of your picture at the moment. Hoddle to Marwood. Cooper available for Barnet on this near touchline. And this is Marwood again. And Marwood being forced back this time. Back to the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper, Phillips, clears. Lynch.
I'm not so sure about that decision either.
Smith looked as if he had put Hogg through there. And he was pulled back for the offside decision. Paul Musselwhite will take this one. "25 minutes left in the second half. It's Port Vale 4, Barnet Football Club 0.
Another one, which is a bit questionable.
I don't think this team of officials are really allowing the game to flow, and Barnet are going to make that substitution we were talking about. It's taken them a while to make the mind up who's coming off, and it's going to be at the 11, Tony Lynch. Cooper. This is Close. Close puts his shot on goal, and that's never going to trouble Paul Musselwhite.
Merely a back pass. No power at all in the shot there, and they're going to have to do better than that at Barnet to trouble Paul Musselwhite.
So Tony Lynch is going to be who comes off when Barnet finally do decide to bring the substitute on. It's going to be number 14, Nicky Evans, that comes on. This is Hoddle. Marwood. The number 4 Smith joining the attack for Barnet now. They're trying to push players forward. And Hoddle going back to Newsom. Cooper's available on this near touch line. This is Smith. Hogg, back to Marwood. Close. This is Hoddle. Back to Smith. Patient build-up from Barnet here now. This is close. And that's Dean Glover in there with a great challenge to concede the corner. They were building it up nicely, and I think that's the first time this match I've seen that, Phil.
I think this is possibly their best spell of the game for Barnet. They had about 15 to 20 passes there without a Vale player touching the ball. This is their third corner of this second half, and they're trying their best to get back into this match. They're going to make the substitution now. Number 11, Lynch, is coming off, and number 14, Nicky Evans, is going to come on to the field of play. And Tony Lynch, you can see him there. Well, he is just trotting off the pitch as we speak to you. And the number 14, Nicky Evans, has had his instructions from the Barnet assistant manager.
So it's going to be Brian Marwood, the ex-Arsenal international, with this corner. Musselwhite out again to gather that one. And again, quickly releases the captain, Dean Glover, forward now. And Glover finds Alan Tankard with a spectacular pass there. This is great football. Martin Foyle now. Martin Foyle wins the corner. Paul Kerr had made a great run up in the centre of the area and was expecting a better cross from that from Foyle, and I think he's just telling him that now as he's walking past him. Martin Foyle, though, has got his name on the score sheet. Bernie Slaven's done that 3 times already this afternoon, and I think he'd fancy his chances of getting another one before the end of this game, and we've 20 minutes to go for the end of that game. Tankard back to Aspin. This is Taylor. Into Tankard. Paul Kerr got a great run there, and he just failed to find him. Tankard in with the challenge. Smith to Marwood. Cooper going on the overlap. Ball floated forward. That'll be Paul Musselwhite's. Paul Kerr. The skipper, Dean Glover. Forward for Slaven. Foyle's gone on a run in the box. So is Alan Tankard. That's going to come for Foyle! I said he was there. And he made no mistake with that header. What a cross it was from Alan Tankard, Phil.
Getting a bit embarrassing now from Barnet's point of view, wasn't it? But what a great cross it was from Alan Tankard. The goalkeeper, Gary Phillips, just couldn't get his fingers to the ball. And there was Martin Foyle to make it 5-0. And now Foyle is going for his hat-trick. We're going to have a problem whether he's going to have the match ball if he gets another one.
I don't think they'll cut it in half and share it, will they, this afternoon? I mean, that's always been I think they could do, but there you go. We've got the forward line for Port Vale in absolutely tip-top condition this afternoon, and proving that they really are the side to beat.
Bernie Slaven, you know, feels a little bit worried about this. I bet he's thinking to himself, I'm going to have to get another goal because I want the match ball.
Well, Brian Marwood will have other things to say about it, and he brings Smith in with a great pass there. This is Sean Close. Van der Laan dribbles his way out of defence. Great play there by the Dutchman. Slaven's holding himself. Paul Kerr joins the attack. Slaven's got into the box. Slaven's there. Flip back. Can he have a shot on it? It was picked up by Marwood. Robin van der Laan just tripped at the last minute. Martin Foyle is very, very deep at the moment for some reason. In fact, he's in the back four at the moment.
Yeah, that's a bit strange, isn't it? There's 5 players at the back now for Port Vale, and Martin Foyle's gone back there for some reason. I can't quite understand that one. Tom, can you throw any light on that?
Not at all. Paul Kerr staying up and heading the attack with Bernie Slaven. The number 14 gets his shot on. That runs right past Paul Musselwhite's goal. Evans it was that put the shot on. This is Marwood floating across to the far side. Oh, and a great effort there by the number 8, Sean Close. That wasn't too far away. A couple of the Barnet players really linking well together there, and in particular Carter, who nodded the ball down to Sean Close.
And Martin Foyle's gone back up front now, but for that last 2 minutes of pressure from Barnet there, Martin Foyle went in the back four. I don't know if he's been given instructions from John Rudge and the Vale dugout to help out in defence, but that's the first time I've seen him do it in this match.
Marwood moving forward, finding a bit of space, also finding Hogg. Poor cross though, easily cleared by Dean Glover. This is Hoddle. This is Cooper, back to Hoddle. Just over it, the shot forward there from Carl Hoddle. And really now it's about whether Barnet can keep this scoreline to 5. That's yes, it was offside that time. Sean Close just drifted offside there. It was a good pass though by Nicky Evans.
Going to find himself in trouble as Sean Close, because he kicked the ball away, and he could find himself in terrible trouble with the referee here. The referee's looking for the book, and it's a bit unnecessary. Mind you, he did kick the ball away, to be fair. The linesman on the near side just had his flag raised for a few moments. I don't know what that was for. He's put it down now. That's Mr. Singh on the near side.
He's going to go into the boot though, Sean Close. And that is a very unnecessary booking when you think about it. You know, I mean, you're 5-0 down, and to kick the ball away at this stage really is quite amazing. And he's found himself in the book, and he's got a couple of points on the old disciplinary total there. And manager Mr. Phillips won't be too happy with that booking.
Don't think he'll be too happy with anything this afternoon from Barnet.
You're going to give us a rundown on the statistics to date?
Just as soon as Vale have scored this next goal, which is coming now.
And it's a Martin Foyle flick on. Marwood's there. Back to the goalkeeper. Oh, he's given the ball away to Martin Foyle! And Foyle's got his hat-trick! Oh, what a dreadful goal for Barnet to concede, and it was conceded no less than their manager Gary Phillips, who played an absolutely suicidal ball back to Brian Marwood. It was cut out by the Vale number 9, Martin Foyle, who made no mistake. It's now Port Vale 6, Barnet 0.
With 15 minutes left to play as well this afternoon, it's getting a little bit embarrassing as far as Barnet are concerned. Our cameraman Tim's just said double figures, but I don't think so somehow. But
they're going to have a blimmin' good go.
But statistics, mind you, I did say wait for the next goal. Well, the next goal's gone in, so I suppose I've got to tell you now. 3 corners in the second half, Barnet have had. Vale have had 3 corners. And, well, they've had 1 free kick of Barnet in the second half. Vale have had 4 free kicks. But here comes the next goal, I think.
Well, the number 6 there, Dave Barnet, took out the equation of the goalkeeper. And he'd overrun the ball, I thought, there, but the linesman said no. And Newsom will be left to clear this. I don't think he'll want to give it to his goalkeeper. Rudgy gives a wave, and the manager himself obliges. Keeps the Vale faithful happy. Although with 6 goals in the bag this afternoon, I would think that this is one very happy crowd, if not elated. And this is exhibition football now. We've got a situation here at Vale Park this afternoon where we've got 10 men putting 6 goals past 11 men as Robin van der Laan looks for a 30-yarder. I've just put a little bit too much blight on the ball.
Paul Kerr was in acres of space on the right-hand flank there with nobody around him at all. And I feel that if Robin van der Laan had seen him and played the ball over to him, that would have been goal number 7. So that's 3 goals each, isn't it? Foyle and Slaven.
It certainly is. The striking partnership of Martin Foyle and Bernie Slaven has really come into fruition this afternoon. And you can ask no more of a striking partnership to get a couple of hat-tricks between them. This is Hoddle. Pass cut out there by Neil Aspin for Port Vale. Port Vale have been absolutely resolute in defence this afternoon, and that might just reach Bernie Slaven. It didn't though. Newsom just flicked the ball down, and Phillips is taking absolutely no chance, although that was a sweet pass to the number 4, Gary Smith. Hoddle's in possession now. Finds Barnet. This is Carter. Overrun that one a little bit and run into the wall with Neil Aspin. So really we've got a competition now on the Port Vale striking partnership of Martin Foyle and Bernie Slaven to see who's going to get their 4th. This is Hogg. Kevin Kent battling away in there. This is Barnet. They're still passing it about, Barnet, to the credit. And that on the overlap is Brian Marwood. Marwood will look to put in a sweet cross here. He does so. It was Sean Close that got the head to the ball. Throw for Paul Kerr though. And Paul Kerr looking for his options. Has Bernie Slaven up in front. Has Kevin Kent, and he goes back to Kevin Kent. This is Slaven, just a little bit too high for him. Hoddle back to Newsom, and Newsom back to Cooper. And Cooper is robbed by Bernie Slaven. Port Vale need to get players forward. And it's Cooper that came back and robbed Bernie Slaven. Newsom and Cooper are really boxing themselves in a corner at the moment. And finding Hoddle. Hoddle finding Newsom. Newsom across the box to Smith. And Barnet can build again. This is Marwood. This is Barnet for Barnet. And Barnet's coming forward. He beat Ian Taylor that time. Beats Dean Glover. And hits Alan Tankard with the ball. And tries to win the corner but fails. So Barnet really struggling a little bit for ideas now, Phil.
Yeah, I think they're well beaten at Barnet this afternoon. Their heads have definitely dropped here at Vale Park this afternoon. John Rudge will be absolutely delighted with this. It's just the tonic that Vale wanted after the 2 indifferent starts against Burnley last Saturday and then Lincoln in the Coca-Cola Cup on Wednesday. But I tell you what, one thing that John Rudge won't do, he won't get carried away. He'll keep his head on his shoulders, and he'll have to do that with all the players as well, and I'm sure he will do that. Great performance though this is. It's a very, very poor Barnet team. Having said that though, you've still got to go out and you've still got to score the goals, and Vale have done that this afternoon. But I do believe, this is my own personal opinion, this is the first of many, many defeats of similar fashion for Barnet this season.
Well, Phil, I can't really argue with you on that score at all, because Barnet really have a lot to learn about this Division 2. They come up from the old Division 3 last year, and really what happened to them in the summer has cost them dearly, not in terms of financial loss, although the club have been struggling in that way for many, many months, but they've lost 2/3 of their first team from last season, and have really assembled a team here that are going to struggle, and one would hope for their sake that they do start to gel together in the not too distant weeks. They have some class players. Carl Hoddle looks a good prospect. He's on the ball now. Brian Marwood's been involved with every single move that Barnet have tried to put together this afternoon. But from a Port Vale point of view, and I'm trying to think now back to when we started here at First Team Television, that was the beginning last season, and this is the highest score since we've been here, and I think 4 was the previous highest score. And you're nodding your head in agreement there.
Yes, you're quite right, and it was against Plymouth Argyle.
And they also had 4 in the Autoglass Trophy, didn't they? Twice against Northampton and against Fulham. We know our stuff, don't we? And that's without the aid of a safety net. Kevin Kent does the clearance out, it falls for Barnet, and I've been dying to say that all afternoon, and he puts a shot on goal that Paul Musselwhite just plucks out of the air as if somebody's chucking him a balloon.
We'll say one thing, I think the Barnet supporters have to be applauded behind the goal to our left. They're still supporting their team and getting behind them, and they've had a miserable afternoon, haven't they?
Certainly have. We've got 8 minutes of this match remaining, 8 minutes of the normal 90 minutes. plus whatever time referee Coddington adds on for bookings and stern lectures and the such like. But give Barnet their due, they're still coming forward. Vanderlaan to Taylor, and they're just playing it about now at Port Vale. Glover floats the ball forward, finding one of the Fulham defence, and Fulham can start to try and build something again. They're looking for a goal to rescue some of their pride this afternoon. Robin Vanderlaan, great turn, tries to play Bernie Slaven forward. Slaven takes the ball on. Paul Kerr makes a great run. Slaven's going through the lot of them, and it took the Barnet goalkeeper Gary Phillips just to come out and block the ball off Bernie Slaven's foot there. I'll tell you something about Paul Kerr this afternoon. He's got in some tremendous positions.
He always does, doesn't he? Very important player as Paul Kerr to Port Vale. And Bernie Slaven very nearly getting his 4th goal there.
And I don't think we can say this too often that Port Vale have amassed these amount of goals with just 10 men. And that really is probably the performance of the season so far. And I think at the end of this season we won't see many more performances like this one, Phil.
I don't think you'll see many more teams come to Port Vale and be as poor as Barnet. The only blessing in disguise for them is it's so early on in the season, which gives them time to sort themselves out. But they really have been very, very poor at the back. But at times they've shown some good football when they're playing like they're playing now. They're playing pretty good football, but I do feel that Vale have stepped off the accelerator a bit now.
Great interception there by Kevin Kent. Hogg takes the throw, finds Carter. Kerr will break, finds Vanderlaan. Vanderlaan gets a second bite at that one and finds Tankard. And Vale content to just play it around at the moment and keep possession. This is Paul Kerr to Aspin. Aspin to Kent. Taylor's available. Kerr finds him now. Boyle. Kerr. And this really is exhibition football now from Port Vale. You know, twice last season we had Premier League sides with 7 goals. Let's see if Port Vale can do it. As Robbie Vanderlaan nearly gets through there. Martin Foyle was available to his right. He failed to find him. I think Robbie Vanderlaan wants his name on the score sheet this afternoon, Phil.
Yeah, he's given away a free kick there as Robin Vanderlaan. He's so keen this afternoon. He's got 5 minutes in which to get his name on the score sheet, and you wouldn't bet against him.
Marwood with the cross for Barnet, and Musselwhite again out. Folds the ball underarm style to Kevin Kent. Kent finds Kerr, and again they will start to build Port Vale. And Kent put that forward and there was nobody there.
Well, you would have thought they could have played the advantage there, played on rather, the referee insisting a free kick be taken.
This is Barnet. Newsom. Out to the far side to Smith. Marwood comes deep to collect the ball again. Cooper. Hogg. Finding Smith. This is Hoddle. Hogg. Ian Taylor gets the block in there. This is Close. Hoddle finding Close. Nice touch there by Carl Hoddle. And I'm sure he'll be sick of the comparisons with his brother Glenn, but that really was Glenn Houghton sort of touched that one.
Certainly was. Good challenge coming in from Dean Glover though, who concedes the corner for Barnet, and just under 4 minutes left.
It's Marwood. No, it's actually Cooper that's gone across to take this one. Musselwhite was impeded as he tried to come out and gather the ball, but it didn't stop him, and he releases Paul Kerr. and Paul Kerr surges forward. Bernie Slaven is the sole Vale player forward. Ian Taylor's in oceans of space if he can be found. He has been. Slaven goes on a great little run, and Taylor looks for the goal, and he's not too far away with that one. Perhaps just a yard or so.
For a moment there, he was in oceans of space, wasn't he, Ian Taylor? And the ball just not quite long enough, so Taylor had to check and turn back and tried his shot on goal, but Slaven was going through on the right-hand side. But I think 6 goals is enough. One doesn't want to get too greedy.
Aspin with a clearance there, finding Cooper. Marwood now for Barnet. Little triangular sort of football that they're playing at the moment, and it's nearly catching him out. And we saw that with West Brom last season, didn't we, Phil, where they played each around just a little bit too much at the back.
Certainly the number 3, Jeff Cooper, looks a bit suspect when they play this sort of football.
This is Hoddle finding Barnet, and Barnet finding Smith. They're playing it about to the credit of Barnet. Carl Hoddle again, trying to get the ball through the Vale defensive line and failing. Kerr finding Slaven. Kerr going for the return ball and gets it. He gave up the run there at Paul Kerr. And Slaven laughing and joking with Kerr there about that one. Oh, nice control by Bernie Slaven. Slaven going on the run, and he beats the players, and there's 4 after him. I think that's the problem this afternoon with Barnet, is they've all chased the ball.
Yeah, 4 of them went after Bernie Slaven there. If he could have got the ball in the middle, that would have left tremendous amount of room for the Vale forward line in the shape of Martin Foyle and perhaps Ian Taylor and Van der Laan.
But you always get told about that at amateur level. I mean, I've played amateur football for a number of years, and you always get told about that, particularly in school. I can always remember a school teacher saying, "Oh, don't all run after the ball and stick to your players." But really, Barnet have been suspect for that this afternoon. Just over a minute to go in this match, and it's Port Vale 6, Barnet Football Club 0, and it's an hat-trick apiece for Bernie Slaven and Martin Foyle, and this is one of the hat-trick heroes now. Bernie Slaven is looking to release. Neil Aspin's there.
Martin Foyle a bit upset because he didn't play the ball through to him, but I think Bernie Slaven probably thought, if I do, you'll go and score. And that'll mean you'll have 4 goals, and I've only got 3.
Well, they're making a bit of noise of the Barnet faithful, and that's to their credit. We're into the last minute now of this match, plus whatever injury time Mr. Coddington allows. Barnet floating the ball forward, looking for Cooper, and Musselwhite out with a huge Gario in there. So Carter it is that restarts the game for Barnet, and this is Barnet for Barnet, finding Hoddle. And he gave that one away there, did Carl Hoddle. Martin Foyle is on a great run here, just drifting out of your picture now, and it's Bernie Slaven that's got to go alone. He tries to find Van der Laan with the clear, and Martin Foyle can be furious about that one, because really Bernie Slaven should have released that pass all of 4 seconds earlier, Phil.
Well, one would have thought so, and the referee's going to say thank you very much.
Referee doesn't really want to allow the massacre of Barnet to continue, and with his thoughts and final analysis on this game, here's Phil Lawton.
What an amazing match this was this afternoon, wasn't it? It started off and we thought it could be disaster time for Port Vale, with their number 5, Peter Billing, getting sent off after 9 minutes for the professional foul. But then what happened? Vale just took the match to Barnet, went 3-0 up by half-time. Bernie Slaven getting all 3 goals, the first of which was a header, the next 2 shots on goal, after great work by Ian Taylor on the flanks. Then in the second half, out comes Martin Foyle. He says, I'm going to get 3 in the second half, does just that. And, well, at the end of the day, 6-0 to Port Vale. And to their credit, the Barnet players just gone across to their fans to applaud them, especially their number 6, David Barnett, who's leading the Barnet players across to their fans, and that has to be applauded, because they really have been played off the park this afternoon. So we go down to the dressing room then to see what the views are down there. But up here in the commentary position, what a match, 6-0.
Well, John, great team performance, but let's deal with the controversy firstly. And there's got to be some sort of consistency with this sending off law on the professional foul. Peter Billington can count himself to be very unlucky.
Well, I think so. Those would be rather harsh. When you come to think that Ian Taylor was pulled back in similar circumstances against Lincoln, and the lads only just got a yellow card. But you say how the referee interprets the foul, and obviously today he's given him the red one, and sort of obviously after 10 minutes that was a bitter blow for us. But we overcome that, and after that we've had a great team performance.
Well, you've been here for 14 years, John. When was the last time that Port Vale managed to score 6 goals?
We've scored 6 a few times. Well, not a few, we've had a couple. I think that...
I was told it was Cardiff last
night. One in Fulham, Cardiff, yes. It's a while, but it's nice to see 6 goals. You know, there aren't many times where you can just sit back and relax, and that was one game which we could.
Well, the forward partnership between Bernie and Slaven and Martin Foyle really did pay his dividends today, and both got an hat-trick, and that must have been equally satisfying.
2 hat-tricks. Obviously, the important one that we got is 3 goals before half-time, and obviously set the standard for the game. And we were in the driving seat at half-time. We just got to make sure that we were disciplined. We didn't do anything stupid for us to go on and win the game convincingly. We didn't take our foot off the gas either, so that was pleasing as well. And for 10 men to actually score 6 goals, it was a tremendous performance. Well, we'll say that Barnet's probably just getting themselves organised, and they're on the day. You know, they didn't look the best of sides, but you still got to beat them. And I thought that we punished them for every mistake which they made.
It was a good performance, John, and the 10 players left on the pitch really did buckle down and probably give you the starting shot to your season.
Well, that's what we hope. I mean, we've conceded 2 goals in every match. Now today we've got a clean sheet, which is another vital factor for us. It's all right sort of scoring the 6, but we wanted just to keep that clean sheet, get in the habit of doing that for us to take forward, because I'm sure that we'll have harder and stronger opponents in the next few weeks.
Well, this victory sets you up for a great clash on Tuesday, John, and you must be looking forward to that very much now. Well,
we let ourselves down really after being in a comfortable 2-0 position against Lincoln, and now we go there and battle that out. We've got to get a victory. Now, obviously, today's result will give us that confidence to get that.
Well, you've one final question. Who gets the match ball? I suppose there's quite a tussle going on there between us at the moment.
Yeah, we've got to find another one from the cupboard, but we'll be quite happy to find a couple of balls every week if they both score hat-tricks. That'll be the least of our worries.
Oh, what a marvellous afternoon's entertainment that was. Port Vale, 6 goals, the better of Barnet Football Club this afternoon, and I wouldn't have thought that there was anybody in the Port Vale following that wouldn't have really put their hands together in celebration for what truly was a remarkable victory. Barnet, don't forget, really are just gelling together. They're a side that have been put together in the last few weeks of the summer recess, and I think, Phil, that they'll be disappointed, but obviously they'll have to build from there, won't they?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, we're not bothered about Barnet, are we? Let's talk about Port Vale. But one thing about this afternoon, what John Rudges just said, and he said that they're going to meet stronger and harder opponents in the weeks to come forward. I think that's true. That's very true.
Well, 6 goals to the good Port Vale, and I would be hard pushed to pick my favourite goal of the match. Equally, every one of them was truly brilliant in their own right, but really picking out one star from the Port Vale lineup today, and I think it'd have to be Ian Taylor.
Yes, he played brilliant. The goal for me was Martin Foyle's when he shot at the goalkeeper and the goalkeeper saved, and then he had to turn and chip. That was a marvellous goal, that was, over the defender and the goalkeeper. That was the best goal for me.
We'll look forward to many more such like victories in this Enders League Division 2 campaign, and First Team Television will grab every one of them for you.